So, you're welcome to the Puskas Arena here in Budapest, where myself and Aidan Fitzmaurice are here digesting what was, I think it was that dead rubber we were thinking about at the start of the week, maybe we could have here. And I was just thinking, and I mentioned it in the preview, if you find that Armenia review somewhere, folks, just coming back from Yerevan, before going back from Yerevan, I think we recorded it in a hall or something like this. You can just delete it, just delete it. It didn't happen. What everyone expected to happen has happened. Ireland have lost to Armenia, a team who I think have lost 14-1 in aggregate to Portugal, but they've come back and just beaten Portugal 2-0 and then come to Hungary and won 3-2. And I will say, Aidan, I was talking to one of our colleagues out there who compared that to Ibaraki in terms of the Robbie Keane goal, in terms of exhilaration and drama, and I wasn't there for that one. I remember watching it on the couch at home, but I can't quite recall a moment like that. We've had some late goals in Lille and James McLean and Cardiff and so on, but 96th minute.
But even in terms of the context and what was at stake, a lot of those were group games, one-off game. This was do or die. If Ireland didn't win here today, it was gone. The World Cup was gone. I think that's what makes it more remarkable. I mean, I'm covering the Irish team for nearly 30 years. I can't remember a comeback. Yes, it was there in Lille and Cardiff and a lot of those other games where they came from behind, but to be dead and to be so dead, and it was nearly gone at 2-1 up Hungary. I mean, the save that Kelleher made from Salai, I think that can be forgotten about now. All the focus is on Troy Parrott, but that save that goes to 3-1. The game is over. Hungary thought they had won. They were time wasting. Szoboszlai was already celebrating. They were in party mood, and again, maybe it didn't suit them that a draw. They probably at that stage were playing for a draw. They'd backed off. Speaking to Troy Parrott after the game, he said it was kind of half an hour, 40 minutes. Nothing really happened. Like it was a very, very dead game. And then Ireland just found something in the reserves, in their spirits, in that last 10 minutes to come back. It's one of the most remarkable things I've seen watching Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the last 30 minutes, it's hard to almost to come down and just to analyse it now. But there was obviously, there was that period, I think, between 60 and 75 where you were thinking, this isn't happening here. In fact, maybe a portion of the second half. And then, Azaz went back deep where Malumbi was, and he had Johnny Kenny and Parrott off to right and Aidan. And I must admit now, you're looking at this going, they're not actually getting the ball up the park. And Hamer sort of acknowledged it, but it's just a moment. And I think it's the Azaz flick and the confidence that Parrott finishes that with. I know the third goal was the one we remember for years, but there's something about the second one for me, because that was like, we hear these cliches, we talk about other teams, give them one chance at this level and they score. He got the chance and he took it, and I think that just changed the momentum of everything. And
for me, the second goal, but for me, the third goal, and again, if you're in coaching courses and people go on pro license and all that, and you wonder, you work on set pieces, you work on the fine arts, everything else, the science of it, and you look at that goal, it's everyone up, everyone is gesturing for just throw everybody up, and the goal comes from Queven Geller, a high ball up, Liam Scales.
Keller was trying to get into the box himself.
Only he had to take the thing. So a punt from your goalkeeper, a flick on from one of your defenders, and Troy is left there. And again, the fact that they beat Dibus, I'd say if you looked at game moments, I mean, Dibus, I'd say for an hour probably he didn't touch the ball. He was inactive, and for that to come, so that moment, the awareness of Scales to have to flick it down. The fact that Hungary, I think, were gone. I think they thought they had it done and they hadn't seen it out. But the alertness of Troy, one of the fascinating things now. Look, we have months now. We were looking ahead to
succession race next week.
Succession race. Yeah. We're looking to not having a competitive game now until September. We were looking at a really grim time for Irish football. And now, once again, the spirit is back. The under-17s, we can take breath from this. And now we watch the under-17s play in the next round of the World Cup. Troy Parrott, I imagine after seeing this, 5 goals in two games in a window, bigger clubs are going to be, AZ Alkmaar, somebody's going to make some serious money off Troy Parrott if AZ sell him in the January window.
Maybe even the FAI.
It's a brilliant feeling, and I think that is, and in fairness, I mean, speaking to some of the players after, and we had a reaction on the Irish Independent across the evening, but a lot of the players are saying they shipped criticism, and a few of them said, well, it was deserved. Nathan Collins said Armenia was the lowest of the low. He just didn't see a way out after. It was that low after Armenia. They played so poorly against an average team. It looked really, really grim. He did say, how do we get out of this? And they somehow summon the spirit. If you're Hungarian, you're absolutely sick, because all they had to do was draw. They had everything in their hands. They had a full squad, a full house. Everything was gone for them, and I think it was a mental weakness on their part and a mental strength. of resolve. And one thing I would say in terms of the impact, one thing Nathan Collins did say, he mentioned two people in particular, Seamus Colden and John Egan, and John Egan didn't play, but the impact that they have, there does seem to be a new spirit, in a new sense of belief in the last window, and particularly in this window, to beat Portugal, you know, at home with a clean sheet, score 2 goals and win away, come from 2-1 down to win in Hungary. It's an astonishing window.
Yeah, I think for me, and just before we finish, but I think there is an element of, look, they weren't lucky this week. Yeah, okay, there was little moments in the game today, and Hamer acknowledged that Hungary were the better team at parts, but if you look at earlier in the campaign, there was maybe petulant red cards that opened the door back into games. What I love about it is, and probably, you know, Hamer said it at the squad announce, well, it's in our hands, 2 wins. And I think a lot of people were like, well, yeah, you know, good luck with that. Probably thought you needed that favour from Yerevan, and in a strange way, like Hungary went on Thursday, it's almost like this team was like, well, you're going to have to go and do it now, and they've gone and done it. And look, in the coming days, we will. I know Sean O'Connor has a piece in the playoff permutations, and
we'll have to draw on Thursday, so we'll know on Thursday.
Other results will shape that, and I'll be honest, you know, normally you're all over that stuff. I don't think, you know, we were thinking too deeply about that, but it does change the debate, it changed the discussions we can have over Christmas, and we can look ahead to a World Cup playoff, hopefully 2 playoff games in March. So yeah, we'll have plenty of coverage across the evening, across the coming days, building up towards Thursday, building up towards Ireland still having a chance of going to the World Cup.